My name's Tim Gosling and I'm a furniture designer as well as an interior designer. My inspiration on nearly every element that I design in terms of my work comes from architecture. And in the rug collection, I started looking at where the architecture was in the 1930s, and I used, in this particular rug here, the Chippendale chair backs. There are so many that historically have elements that are chinoiserie, but then you start simplifying the lines and you realize how much of the language becomes an Art Deco. So everything that's set into the Deco language, it definitely is steps of three, but I wanted to pare that back, particularly in this design, so that it became almost a chair back, but it was with the Deco elements of the lines in silk, so that it became a more contemporary expression of it. So this is the round rug, which I know I'm not allowed to have favorites, but it's just stunning. It's incredible because it's based on the radio waves of the 1930s, and it's so iconic because you will have seen it so many times. You have the concentric circles which come out from the transmission, and then you have these wonderful little squiggles which come out of the design, which are to do with the actual transmission. So it's an extraordinary moment because you're trying to use a Deco language here about showing you the new technology here, which is actually kind of, transmission of radio waves. And it also envelops this idea of it kind of being around the world. And that was the starting point for the circular rug, was the idea of taking this transmission of radio into the silk lines. Welcome to the Plaster Room, and again, just showing you my flavour of things that I love that are Art Deco. We have a 1930s gramophone here, musical box which is about 1890s, 1940, and this one is about 1920. What's incredible is that you get into the 1930s and they start being able to manipulate the horn so it becomes part of the box. You get ones that travel. So this is pure 30s design, and you'll see that this goes beautifully with the rug because it's that great Gatsby feel that you have with all of these pieces of engineering. So you have this that opens up. And again, it's the idea of instead of the horn's in the bottom part here, and the same principle of being able to drag the sound out just through the diaphragm of the needle. And this is where you get the expression to put a sock in it comes from, because the only volume control that you have here is putting a little sock in the bottom part. So when someone says, "Gonna keep quiet, put a sock in it," that's what you're meaning in terms of the kind of volume control here on the gramophones. My own personal style in designing rugs is to listen to what people are missing, what people require, also trying to look at the different markets around the world. That's why I chose Deco to start this whole journey, 4 or 5 years ago with the rug company, because I think as a language, it's international. What you then have to do is find a kind of a common dialogue that works with the color and design so that it can fit into all of those different demographics. That this will look just as good in New York as it will in Los Angeles. This will fit in a kind of a wonderful 1780s environment and not feel out of place because there's a calmness to it. There's a structure and a classical grounding. And that means that you've got a language that talks and doesn't fight with another language.